I'm returning to this because it's gotten way worse. These people have no dignity in the media. The way they're talking about Jack Smith is almost explicitly sexualized. And it's uncomfortable to watch. I almost wish, it's like the Dianne Feinstein segment, I almost wish I didn't have to think about it or show it to you. But we have our duties as journalists, and that's to inform you, and I'm afraid you're going to have to see what I saw, which is this CBS News panel led by Norah O'Donnell, the CBS News anchor. On the day that President Trump appeared in court, they were so happy that he had to go to court and meet Jack Smith. And here is what ensued. Just listen to this.
We've just been told that Donald Trump has entered the courtroom. Also in the courtroom is the special counsel, Jack Smith. And I want to spend a moment on Jack Smith because he is essentially who Donald Trump is up against in multiple of these indictments. The two, of course, the classified documents and the January 6th one. And they are sitting across from each other inside this courtroom. Jack Smith is someone who has run over and competed in over 100 triathlons.
I mean, why would you say that? You're on air live on a network news show. We're talking about a criminal case brought by this prosecutor whose allegations are supposed to be subject to critical scrutiny. He's trying to put someone in prison. Donald Trump is presumed innocent until proven guilty. And within 15 seconds after starting to talk about him, you start talking about his athletic hobbies. Let's listen to more.
He was reportedly at one point hit when he was on his bike by a truck. And 10 weeks later, he ran another triathlon.
Okay. He's Superman. He gets hit by a truck. The truck runs him over. Most people would spend 2 years in a hospital. He got run over by a truck, but not Jack Smith. He got up, put on his cape, and he went back and did another triathlon 10 weeks later. This is a tough, tough guy. Impressive, really impressive, strong, very, very strong. And I want to see the truck that ran him over and understand what his injuries were that then let him go do another triathlon 10 weeks later. But she's very impressed by this, Norah O'Donnell of CBS News is.
This is a man of a lot of grit and a lot of determination.
This is a man of a lot of grit and a lot of determination. How does she know that? What does she know about him? Nothing. She knows nothing about him. They should be talking about his history as a prosecutor, including the cases that he was found to have abused his prosecutorial power in. But she's breathlessly talking about his personal hobbies and his athletic prowess and his grit. His grit. Listen to how the tone of her voice.
Of grit and a lot of determination. And even what we have seen in these indictments is just a sliver of what they know and his prosecutorial team knows, right?
They always do that. They do that with Robert Mueller all the time. There are a lot of secret things they know. They're way too disciplined to tell us, but they have a whole big pile of powerful secrets that they're keeping that is going to scare Donald Trump. Now remember, they did this for Robert Mueller. Talked about Robert Mueller this way for 2 years. Only for Robert Mueller to close shop, not prosecute anybody on the core charge that the Trump campaign colluded with Russia, issue a report saying that after 18 months of looking, they could find no evidence to establish that core allegation. And then he appeared before Congress just slightly more alert than Dianne Feinstein, and so they turned around and had to smear him as being senile. That's what Adam Schiff basically wrote in his book, because he refused to lie and say that Donald Trump had colluded with the Russians. And now they have their new Robert Mueller, their new Michael Avenatti, their new Andrew Cuomo, this man of great grit and determination, gets hit by a truck and he does another triathlon. He doesn't even have to go to the hospital. He dusts himself off. The truck goes away. He's like, no, thank you, sir. I need nothing. I'm good. He just went home, maybe took a nap a little bit, ate something, started working out again, real sweaty, real hard, real strong, and did another triathlon 10 weeks later. This is the news. This is CBS News.
His aggressive approach to his personal health and exercise correlates to how he approaches his prosecution and his strategy. We've talked a lot about.
That's Robert Costa, who began his career as a conservative at National Review, made his way to the Washington Post, is at CBS News, and they just, amazing. These people just transform into the herd animals that they're hired to be. His personal, what was that? His personal aggression and how he works out correlates to how he, what does that even mean?
Correlates to how he approaches his prosecution and his strategy. We've talked a lot about how the former president is under pressure, but Jack Smith is also under pressure today.
All right, so that was the CBS News report helping you to understand who Jack Smith is. There was a reporter who was in the courtroom, Hugo Lowell, I believe he's a reporter with The Guardian. He was in the courtroom, and this is what he wanted you to know about the proceedings. Quote, Trump is sitting in special counsel Jack Smith, direct line of sight in the courtroom. And Smith almost certainly just looked at Trump. This is a real man we're talking about. He looked right at Trump. He's not sure, but he's pretty sure, and he reported that. Unflinchingly, he stepped forward and he said, I'm adversarial to power. I don't care who I anger. Jack Smith looked at Donald Trump in that courtroom. You know what he used to look at Donald Trump with? Bill Kristol's The Bulwark tells us he used his steely-eyed gaze. Jack Smith, his gaze is steely-eyed. And that's the thing that he used to look at Donald Trump with, a steely-eyed gaze. Now, you probably remember some of the similar things that were done. Here, for example, Billboard magazine, I'm so glad I thought we had this video. I'm so glad we don't, because I could not endure watching it. But the women of Saturday Night Live sung a song for Christmas entitled All I Want for Christmas Is You, and it was a song to Robert Mueller. The women of Saturday Night Live sang, quote, All I Want for Christmas Is You, parody. It wasn't a parody. It was very earnest, directed at special counsel Robert Mueller, pleading for an indictment of President Trump. There you see them, the ladies of Saturday Night Live, saying, all they want for Christmas is you, Robert Mueller, and a picture of him came down and they were dancing and singing. And then in Vogue magazine, they had this picture of Robert Mueller standing tall with that steely-eyed gaze. And the headline, and this is very earnest, is Step Aside, Idris Elba and Chris Hemsworth. Robert Mueller is America's new crush. They turned Robert Mueller at the age of 73, before they declared him senile, into some kind of like matinee idol, into a sex symbol. They were lusting for Robert Mueller because he was the one who was coming to get Trump previously. Think how unhealthy this is. These people are venerating and idolizing prosecutors as object of sexual desire because they believe they're coming to get their main enemy, Donald Trump. They're like superheroes, saving them and protecting them from the bad guy. These are reporters at major media outlets saying this. Here's from Vice. They have a picture there of Robert Mueller with little hearts around it, Valentine hearts. Inside Robert Mueller's horny, joking, but not really fandom. The special counsel, quote, has all of the qualities of a super crush. He's mysterious. He doesn't return phone calls. He plays hard to get. Here's what this article said, quote, ever since the special counsel investigation into Russian interference during the 2016 presidential election was launched, the silvered-haired former FBI director at its head has been idealized, lusted after, and nearly deified by a resistance badly in need of heroes. In other words, many people really seem to be increasingly in love with Robert Mueller. Case in point, the countless never-ending streams of articles about the subject, including this one. In August 2017, Vogue crowned Mueller, quote, America's new crush. rounding up responses to comedian Chelsea Handler's tweet professing her adoration. That October, the AV Club reported on this, quote, bustling Reddit fan club. A few months after that, MEL referred to him as a daddy, citing memes of him rendered as Superman or atop a shark shooting firearms and tweets that referred to him as, quote, the sexiest man alive. Last March, The New Yorker analyzed the numerous media claims that he was, quote, a style icon, evaluating his choice of ties and his insistence on only wearing white dress shirts. And then this January, just a few weeks before Chad Okonachi Johnson would watch the FBI arrest Roger Stone, Vanity Fair published a love letter to, quote, Robert Swan Mueller by Rachel Dodis. These are adults. And I think that one of the reasons this happens is because these people have nothing in their lives but politics. And especially politics in its lowest form, which is like the cable news kind of politics. Every day, Robert Mueller's coming to get Donald Trump. They don't have any religion. They feed on this all day long. Remember, we showed you that video of Chris Hayes on the verge of tears, genuinely, talking about how reading Jack Smith's indictment was personally gratifying to him because it vindicated his sense of sanity. He's like, you know what? I'm not crazy. I'm not crazy. This proves that all the things I've been wanting for so long, Donald Trump's prison, are really true. This is mentally unwell. There were all those reports at the beginning of Trump's presidency from therapists talking about all these neurotic episodes and anxiety disorders that their patients were reporting as a result of Trump's election. That's what the media has done to them. And then the converse is that they start lusting after technocrats in Washington because they think they're viewing this as some kind of morality play. It's like a film. And they're falling in love with the protagonist, with the matinee idol, with the hero who's coming and protecting them from these bad people. Thanks for watching this clip from System Update, our live show that airs every Monday through Friday at 7 p.m. Eastern, exclusively on Rumble. You can catch the full nightly shows live or view the backlog of episodes for free on our Rumble page. You can also find full episodes the morning after they air across all major podcasting platforms, including Spotify and Apple. All the information you need is linked below. We hope to see you there.